Welcome back to Crunchtime Chaos. Good to be back, joined by my boy and first ever guest on this show, Anthony Gazowski. Say what's up, my brother.
What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Earl? Obviously, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
Has been, man. I'm doing good. How you been? We know we go back since like the
Way back
American
then.
ball days and freaking summer camp. Damn, good times. It's like over a
Good
decade ago. I feel like
times.
Unc.
Good old times.
I feel like Unc. A lot of good memories.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
really old, yo. Those are good times, yo.
hmm
But we back, and we're gonna start in the NFL world with a Joe Burrow injury. He had suffered a turf toe injury on Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where the Bengals are somehow 2-0 to begin the season, even though they look horrible. But it is what it is. And he's going to be sidelined 3 months. What are your thoughts on the injury?
First off, I saw an NFL meme that was like, there's like 100 million obese Americans, and yet you can't find any five that can protect Joe Burrow.
Facts or something.
At this point, you got to feel bad for Joe Burrow. Obviously, he signed a very lengthy, or at least a very high costly multi-year contract extension with the team. But for him to just be surrounded by an offensive line that really can't protect him, like it's a shame to see, having him be injured quite a lot. His rookie year or his second year, obviously he tore his ACL or had a leg injury, season ending, and then he had some complications, and then obviously with his wrists, a season or two back. So he's just been riddled with a lot of injuries, and I think you could put the blame on the offensive line, but altogether, it's just very unfortunate to see very, very great talented quarterback just go down with all these injuries. So I'm very curious to see how Jake Browning is going to do. Obviously, when he took the helm against the Jaguars, what was it, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, or was it the other way around?
Two
But
touchdowns, 3 picks.
yeah, so yeah, very eventful. Reminds me of our Unk Jameis Winston. But we'll see what he can do. He'll go up against the Vikings, which is one of the games that we know him for 2 years ago when he got revenge of his old team that cut him. So he got pretty hyped. So maybe he'll get some sweet revenge this time. But I'm just so confused how the Bengals how do they manage to pull off the things that they've been doing thus far, going 2-0 with an offensive line that really isn't great. Defensive line, not really great either. But then you have key players like Jamar Chase really carrying this team, and I think that chemistry will definitely have some effect, especially with Joe Burrow now being out. But we'll see what he can do under a new quarterback, obviously.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I believe his rookie year, he got injured, and then obviously the Jake Browning year where he came in and beat the Vikings, he was out too, and now he's gonna be out majority of the season. And like you said, I don't know how they're 2-0 because every year they start extremely slow. They have to scrap and claw their way back to the top, where you really can't do that, especially in the AFC where it's like extremely packed. But you did start off 2-0, even though they're ugly. A 1 point win against the Browns. You should have lost if the kicker didn't miss like a freaking wide open field goal.
Yeah, and he
And
also
then
missed an
against
extra
Jack.
point too that game as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's bad. I think he got cut too.
Yeah,
Oh god, that's rough.
that
And
is
then
rough.
Jacksonville. I mean, y'all just somehow pulled it out, even though
Yeah,
you really shouldn't have. But nonetheless, you did finally start off good. Oh, 2-0. If you're the Bengals, all you need for Jake Brown to do is break 500. Just go 500 in that time. And I think Vikings could be a very winnable game, though I like their defense. JJ McCarthy's out. He's having like a up and down season. I forgot who their backup is.
they're actually starting Carson Wentz this Sunday.
Oh yeah, Carson.
Yeah.
Shout out
Well,
my
we'll
boy
see how
Carson
things
Wentz.
go. I think obviously when bringing up JJ McCarthy, his play style, like it progressively got better in that game against the Bears week 1, and then I don't
Oh
know,
yeah.
things just didn't really click week 2. I think obviously that Falcons defense was really just ruthless. The amount of sacks that the Falcons defense allowed was like 6. So very, very aggressive defense throughout. JJ McCarthy was just pretty much overwhelmed. But I think that it is good experience for him to get used to the fact that, these defenses, they're not playing around. So yeah, we'll see how. I'm curious, and this is definitely going to be something that we often talk about when we get to those predictions. coming up later. But yeah, very, very tough game to actually predict who wins, especially given the two circumstances. Do we rely on Jake Browning to have the game that he had 2 years ago, or do we rely on Carson Wentz, who we haven't seen as much, but can really perform if he does, relive back in the days where he was actually good, which I have no idea how long it's been because it's been quite a minute. How long has Carson Wentz actually been in the NFL?
Shoot, 2016 could have been his MVP year, but he went down.
Yeah, regardless,
Um,
he's been there
yeah,
for a
over a
while.
decade.
Like, we'll see whatever he's got. But yeah, definitely going to be a very interesting game to watch this weekend.
Oh yeah, I mean he's been bounced around like so many times, so many like teams. Obviously Eagles. I remember the Rams. Now Vikings. He was at the Chiefs, so he's been bouncing around. I don't know how much time he got, but I feel like he'll do solid.
Yeah, I think so too.
But we're gonna shift into Thursday night football as the Dolphins and Bills faced each other. Bills win 31-21, and they're now 3-0 on the season. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are 0-3. There's trouble in Miami, and there's gonna be some jobs that be vacant, aka Mike McDaniel. You're a good coach, but this team has so many flaws. You have no idea. It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it goes on with last week what he said. To win games, you got to win the game and not lose, which is something that they did not do at all. But I will say, the game was a lot more closer than I initially thought. Obviously, it
Yep.
is AFC East football. Division rivalries end up being really, really close. But yeah, I just think that there really just wasn't a groove with that Miami offense, especially with Tua. He really didn't take as many risks. He was often throwing passes down the sideline or just got caught up with too much pressure and just chucked the ball at the sideline out of bounds. So there really just wasn't anything clicking on the offense. And then the defense, yeah, it was. There were some high spots on that Miami defense. They forced a couple 3-and-outs in that third quarter, but overall, like Miami is just not doing so great right now. I mean, I guess because the game was relatively closer and that there were still some highlights like that Tyreek Hill touchdown earlier, or at least touchdown like in the second half. There is a chance that Mike McDaniel might stay another week, but I can't guarantee you he's gonna be the coach for the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, I think he's got like a few more weeks left. Obviously, like you said, I was very surprised on how they performed yesterday. They did lose, and Tua threw a very crucial pick, and also the roughing the kicker play was very crucial, and that just
Very
sold the
crucial.
game right away. But I'll give props to the Dolphins a little bit, even though you guys are still 0-3 on the season. But Tyreek finally had a touchdown in the year, 5 receptions, 49 yards. But honestly, I expect a trade kind of soon.
Yeah, I anticipate that as well.
I wouldn't mind like a reunion in Kansas City.
I mean, yeah, or by all means, he can come to Seattle. By
Oh
all
yes,
means, I mean Sam Darnold. I mean, we can talk about the Seahawks as the next topic. I mean, obviously, very very defensive battle of a game against the 49ers week one, and then obviously it came down to that fumble that costed the Seahawks the win. But then they really bounced back week two. Yeah, Sam Darnold was like really really slow, but what I really liked about that game was that he realized that JSN isn't the only receiver that can catch the ball. He's got Cooper Kupp, and then the run game, Kenneth Walker with his first game back, week two. I saw really great progress with him, and then Charbonnet. I mean, he's a great backup as well. So I really like how Sam Darnold realized that he has all these weapons alongside with him. He doesn't need to throw the ball to JSN the entire time. And then that defense, like, really was going in the step of the right direction. Obviously, Tariq Woolen week one did not play great at all. Allowed Ricky Pearsall so much space and was not able to cover whenever he needed to. So, yeah, overall, I will say that there is overall a step in the right direction for the Seahawks. I mean, they are going up against the Saints this weekend, which I feel like should be a free dub, but obviously we all rooted, or at least according to like ESPN Pick'em, like 99% of people voted for the Bills to win versus like the 1-2% voted for the Dolphins, and yet the game was really close. I was like, this should not feel as close of a game as it should be. So I feel like at this point, like we're third week into the season, we could see like those like teams that are putting, or they're at least they're a step above the rest. But you can't really like be surprised if there's like one little upset going in, since it's because like it's the early stages of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. On your Seahawks point, we'll talk about that next topic. For like honestly, week three teams, you definitely see momentum getting picked up a little bit. Some teams like the slow rust is starting to get like finished off already, and teams are starting to look more polished. Some teams look a little like very like rough right now. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we're gonna talk about your Seahawks. Obviously, we're division rivals. NFC West. I'm a
Yeah.
Rams fan, and you're a
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks fan.
Yep.
And you guys had key acquisitions in the offseason, like Sam Darnold, stealing Cooper Cup from us. What are your thoughts on this season so far? Because I say to people, you guys have a very underrated defense.
Yeah, I'd say like our defense definitely, again, like I mentioned before, is in a general step in the right direction. Obviously, we still have some bad apples in the patch, like Rick Woolen, for example. But I really do think that with a defensive-minded head coach, I think our defense fundamentally has been a lot more organized, and they feel a little bit more complete. I really like the addition, I really like the addition of what was it, DeMarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys that we
Oh yeah.
made during the offseason. It's been a really great addition, especially with Leonard Williams, Big Cat. And I do really like the secondary as well. Josh Jobe has definitely been a really good acquisition for our team. Just being able to allow, or at least create a lot more pressure for the receivers, and also not giving them a lot of space for them to actually make those big plays. And we saw that a lot in the Steelers game. I think he ended up getting one of the picks that Aaron Rodgers threw on that game earlier that week. So there's definitely some bright spots for our defense, and I really do think that as the season goes on, we could see a lot more better progress than what I've seen, and that there's actually some hope that there could be a return of the Legion of Boom. But then speaking of your Rams, I mean, your defense played a really, really tough battle against the Texans earlier, and then they just manhandled the Tennessee Titans. What have been your thoughts overall, especially on that defensive front?
Ooh, that defensive line something special. The great part is we got a very young defensive line, and then we go to Philly on Sunday. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit because I'm extremely hyped about that game. I'm so hyped you have no freaking idea. But I love what I'm seeing, especially week one. We shut down C.J. Stroud, 14-9. Offense looks fluid. Matt Stafford, very underrated. I don't care. Puka Nakua, he's on that hookah. I mean, that boy is different. Devontae Adams showing some like life. I mean, I know he's future Hall of Famer, but he still got it. Even though he's with the sorry Jets, but he still got it. I mean, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's great. And considering the NFC West, I mean, every other team, well, I mean, except for the Seahawks, are currently 2-0 right now. So this could potentially be a division where it could possibly go down to the last games, and that each division rivalry that we have, obviously the Seahawks are already behind that. Those games could be very, very crucial heading down the line, especially with how competitive the games have been so far within our division. The NFC West can really be a big bid when it comes to clinching those wild card spots down the run.
Oh yeah, especially the Cardinals. I'm surprised they're 2-0. Um, yeah, I'm actually really surprised they're 2-0. You guys do play them Thursday Night Football
Yeah.
this Thursday. Obviously the 49ers are dealing with a lot of injuries. Now
Oh
Mac
yeah.
Jones stepped in and he got the dub. So I don't expect momentum to carry for the 49ers. But I looked at the Cardinals schedule the other day. They have a very easy schedule. They're like one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. So I had a hot take on radio the other day. I don't think it will happen, but they could win the division. I don't think they will, but it's a high possibility because if you look at their schedule, it's extremely light.
I could see that take going into effect, especially if the 49ers continue to reel in from the injuries that they had. Obviously, last season was very, very rough for the 49ers. If they continue to be riddled with those injuries and eventually can't really produce anything, I mean, Mac Jones, I mean, he could potentially pull something out pull something out of his ass, but who knows what will potentially happen with this team, especially with Mac Jones under the helm. And then the Seahawks, I mean, again, like their defense looks a lot more better than last season, and I think that overall it just comes down to how Sam Darnold performs, in my opinion, because yeah, Sam Darnold led the Vikings to a really great season. I think they finished 14-3, but made an early first round exit to your Rams in the wild card. So you never know out of Sam Darnold. And I do think that with that offensive line slowly but surely getting better, I still think that's one of our weakest aspects of the Seahawks right now. I do believe that it could potentially be a run for the Battle of the Birds for the top of the division. Though with the Rams as well, I mean, they're also going to be a very tough competitive team, especially with that defensive line really causing those problems. So yeah, I think that if anything, like the Seahawks and the Rams could duke it out for the division, but I won't be surprised if the Cardinals do eventually, pull some magic out of them, and then have the possibility to even take a division or maybe even get second by all means.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like we're gonna win. We're gonna win the division, but it's gonna be a very competitive division as well. But I want to have your thoughts. So I made a power rankings the other day,
Hmm.
and I want you to grade it A, B, C, D, or F. So at
All
number
right.
5, I had the Rams.
Okay.
2-0, obviously. I mean, we look good. At number 4, I had the Chargers. Defense looked good. Coaching is getting better. I mean, Jim Harbaugh was a coach, and Justin Herbert looks sensational so far. The passing game fluid. Quentin Johnston's showing life.
Oh,
The run game's been a little slow, but they are showing life. At 3, I had the Packers. I mean, Jerry Jones, Jesus. Yeah, defense looks good. Defensive line looks insane. They blew out the Lions week 1, division rivalry. 1 and 2 in the division, in my opinion. Could go either way. But they look good. Beat the Commanders last week, a Super Bowl contender. Both teams were Super Bowl contenders. And all Jordan Love got to do is stay consistent, and they can win a Super Bowl soon. At number 2, I had the Eagles. Obviously, the reigning champions. I could flip them 1 and 2. But offense been a little slow. Defense looks good, but the offense has been very slow. I think they're ranking like bottom half on offense recently because Jalen Hurts, he barely threw over 100 yards
yeah,
against the Chiefs.
yeah, and then Saquon rushed under 100, so
Yeah, he hasn't broke
definitely,
100 yet.
yeah. And then what was your number one?
Number 1's the Bills. This was
The
before
Bills.
they won last night, but they're damn sure staying at number 1.
See, now the question I have is, where are the Ravens? I mean, obviously, Lamar Jackson can perform quite pretty well. He can run the ball by himself. He's got Derrick Henry, so he has quite the two good options for the run game. And then obviously you have Zay Flowers, who really popped off in that Thursday night football game against the Bills, which though they did lose, they did end up choking that fourth quarter over there. It's still mind-boggling how the Bills managed to come back from that. But I do think that overall, regardless of whether or not their struggle is not being able to run the ball or just not being able to pass on the ball, they can still rely on that other element on offense to be able to excel. Like last week against the Browns, there really wasn't a lot of action from Derrick Henry. Why? Because all the receivers really got a lot of action from Lamar Jackson. So I think that overall, I'm really surprised why the Ravens aren't necessarily within that top 5. I mean, obviously, you do have that defense, not being able to be as consistent throughout all those games. But I still think that high dynamic offense is at least decent enough for them to at least crack that number 5 spot.
I get where you're coming from. They were definitely top 7, but the sole fact that did that because they're 1-1. You had a 40-25 lead and you blew it. Lamar Jackson looked good, but you did blow out the Browns. But I did that so fact you blew a 40-25 lead, and the Bills and Ravens, they're like honestly 1-2 in the AFC right now. We'll talk about the Chiefs later, but they're 1-2 right now. And if they didn't blow that first game of the year, statement. It was a statement. You still did look good, but you gotta be able to hang on.
Okay. That's pretty much fair. But then with the Eagles, though, like, would you like say like their sort of inconsistent offense that they had, or at least an underperforming offense that they had at number two? Would that still be enough for them to have him still be that high? Because I mean, obviously, I've looked at power rankings from other YouTubers and all that stuff that normally do those every week. They still have the Eagles at number one. The thing is, at some point, when do you realize their offense really isn't performing as good to the point where you have to like bump them down a few spots? And I do respect you for not having the Eagles at number one, so because they are definitely not the best team in the league right now. I do agree that the Bills are in that number one spot, even though that game last night was really close. We did mention division rivalries tend to be a lot more closer. So so back to like my point, like when do you start to really gauge in and realize like, hey, if this Eagle offense can't really get it together, that's when you like bump them out of the top two or three. Maybe eventually at some point, when do you panic and realize they're no longer in the top five?
So I agree with everything you said, especially I've been looking at power rankings too. They have the Eagles at number one, but for a reason, because they're the defending Super Bowl champions. That's why they're number one. That's why they're top two. They are 2-0. Defense look great. That's probably why they're top two. But when you start to get to these high power offenses later on, like with the Rams, I think they're going to get exposed because you need like a superhero performance. Obviously, Jalen Hurts, he doesn't have to do too much, but we know he's clutch. So for Week 3 in Philadelphia against the Rams, you need better offense. Obviously, Kellen Moore was the offense coordinator. Now he's with the Saints, and you can see like little crumblings because offense hasn't looked that good, and you need them to shine because defensively, I'll say the Eagles are a bit better, but our defensive line is like very good. It's gonna be good to watch our defensive line against the Eagles O line, and like if they continue to like do bad offensively, but the thing is they're gonna keep winning. But like for later schedules, let me see who they're playing. Um, they play the Bucks, and we know what Baker can do in Week 4. So their offense could get better, especially with the way Ubuka's playing, the rookie. He's doing very good. They play the Broncos, mainly known for their defense, in Week 5. Week 6, they play the Giants. I mean, that's going to be a spanking. Sorry, Giant fans, but it's true. They play the Vikings, Jettas. But the schedule so far, the schedule's been okay, so you can get away with it. But for the Rams, you can't get away with it.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
The only reason they're high is because they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I give it to them.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, I mean, we keep the Eagles, up relatively high, but for the Chiefs, I mean, yeah, obviously they're 0-2. Obviously they had their weak starts, but again, like I would say, like they played in the Super Bowl. I mean, yes, they got belt to ass against the Eagles, but they were still within that top five. But then, going in, obviously, like the Chiefs, they lost within narrow margins. I mean, obviously, they lost to the Chargers by 1 possession. They lost to the Chiefs by a field goal. So I think that they can still dominate. They can still find the ways to get everything together. But obviously, with the injuries that are going on, the wide receiver room is not really as good. The run game, I mean, the leading rusher so far this season has been Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce just not really getting his groove, and then had that drop that costed them the game because of that interception. They just need to get their emotions in check. I mean, I did recently write a column talking about like they just really need to keep their emotions in check because I mean the Chiefs were 15-2 at the regular season, and mind you, they did not look like a 15-2 team at all. All that mattered for them was that they ended up winning games, regardless whether it was a toe out of bounds, whether it was a controversial flag on the play, an illegal shift, all the mistakes that they capitalized from the other team. They still managed to walk in, get that mindset going, and just were able to pull off those wins. I mean, obviously for the Super Bowl, they still had that mindset while they were still down like 27-0. But I think one of the most important aspects of the game has to be the mentality. And I think that right now the Chiefs are in a position where they're just feeling what it's like to be at the bottom right now, and they just don't like it. Obviously, they've dominated the AFC West since the 2015-2016 season. They haven't lost that division, but now they're sitting in dead last. And yeah, they do have a favorable matchup against the Giants. I do think that Patrick Mahomes can still do what he does best, the Mahomes magic. Hopefully, Xavier Worthy can still play. There were reports that he was looking good heading into this game. So he did sit out last week, but hopefully he does get that opportunity to give Patrick Mahomes some room. And Travis Kelce, I mean, he needs to pick it up. I mean, 2 games, only 6 catches for 108 yards. I mean, there's really got to be a question of whether or not you can actually think that, Kelce is one of the best tight ends of all time, which I don't really think so, considering how he's performed these past 2 seasons. These past 2 seasons have not been great for Travis Kelce. He's averaged, I don't know, 3 to 5 touchdowns within the past 2 seasons, whereas a few years ago he was between 10 to 12, really, really impacted and had a whole lot of yardage coming in for the Chiefs with Kelce. So I think that overall I'm starting to see a little bit of a decline. But hey, they can turn this around starting this weekend. They do have the Giants coming in this Sunday, and I think that there should still be an opportunity for Travis Kelce to pick up and perform. But I just think that if they don't keep their emotions in check, if Kelce continues to ramble on and just bring down the morale of the team, which obviously I think it's all just pure motivation, but I do think that at the end of the day, if the Chiefs end up losing this weekend, then that's where you call for a serious panic.
Oh yeah, I mean, a couple of things you said, especially the run game, horrible. Mahomes is leading your team in rushing Kareem Hunt. Obviously, ain't the Kareem Hunt role, but damn, Isaac Pacheco, you're not doing good. I mean, they really haven't been utilizing the run game ever since the Super Bowl. I mean, they only had a few touches, I believe, like under 5 in the Super Bowl. But still, the run game hasn't been that good. The receiver room hasn't really been that good. I mean, you have Hollywood Brown. I mean, Thornton. Obviously, Worthy's out. Rashee Rice is on suspension. Travis Kelce, obviously, like you said, the decline has not been the same. And like he dropped, he turned his head like very late. All you had to do was pay attention, catch it,
Hold on
and
to
then
it.
you would in the game. And all that noise and all that rhetoric would be like gone. Like that was such a winnable game against the Eagles. And the Travis Kelce comment he said, "You don't think he's one of the best tight ends of all time?"
I'm just going based off of is he playing like he is the greatest tight end of all time at this current moment? No, but definitely in the past. I have all due respect for his game that he's played, and obviously he can go down as one of the greatest of all time. But he's got to rely on having those great seasons. And I think that he did underperform these past 2 seasons. He's really just got to make sure that he gets back up and running, make sure that he continues to solidify that chemistry and not make those mistakes like he did on Sunday. And that is when that's where my comment originated from, or basically he hasn't been performing too well. But obviously the years past, he's definitely playing really, really fantastic. And mind you, if he continues to perform the way he's been back in his prime, he can definitely be one of the greater tight ends. I just honestly don't think that there is. Where am I going with this? But I just do think that he just needs to get it together. That's all there is.
Oh yeah, I mean he is like 35, 36 years of age. He ain't gonna be like the same production level like he was years ago. He's obviously one of the greatest tight ends of all time. I mean, for me, Gronk's the greatest tight end of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, past 2 seasons have not looked good at all, and I think this is probably his last season. Obviously, you got engaged to Taylor Swift and all that, so I think this is it. This is like his get back year. I mean, he's been solid, but he has moments where you ran to your own teammate, injured him.
Yeah.
That wasn't your intention, but yeah. And then you had that key. You weren't focusing for a touchdown against the Eagles, but for the Giants on Sunday, this is your moment. You're 0-2. If you fall into 0-3, it's over.
Oh yeah.
But there's one thing I know, you can't count out the Chiefs and Mahomes, but you still have a chance. I don't know if you'll win the division, but you still have a chance. Even though I'll give credit to the Giants. Their defensive line is good. Brian Burns, Thibodeau, you got rookie Abdul Carter. So you still have a good defensive line that could cause the Chiefs some problems. Their O-line did pretty good on Sunday against the Eagles in the Super Bowl rematch. But I expect Mahomes and the Chiefs to get their get back.
Oh yeah.
and get their first win of the season.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs to get the win. I mean, again, just regardless, like whether or not like on paper the Chiefs are like on paper to win, they still have to get at it. I mean, honestly, like they should treat this as if it were to be a close game, just to like, really see like where their peak performance is at right now with the resources that they have. And obviously, like, with their limited receiver room at the current moment with Rasheed Rice suspended, and and again, like I mentioned, Xavier Worthy, I don't know if he's playing, but it's likely that he could potentially make the start on Sunday. But they just gotta get in that form, stay locked, and let the win, or at least get the win, and just prove to everybody that they're still in it, that they're not completely zoned out, they're still not hungover from that very really bad loss in that Super Bowl. They just need to like get it together.
Oh yeah, they definitely need to get it together. I mean, who they play next week? Because I think they play the Ravens next week.
Yeah. And that is
You
going to
need
be a
some momentum.
huge task, and they are going to need a lot of momentum to be able to there. So this is do or die must win for the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, especially for your morale. I mean, you do not want to go 0-3 heading into Baltimore, and if you are 0-3 and if you are 0-3, the sky's gonna fall. Like the world's gonna be like against you. Like all that belief and stuff. Like we know that GOAT conversation like a little bit on pause because of the performance last year in the Super Bowl. But he just turned 30. I don't know what the future of this team looks like. It might be the Chargers' turn now because won the decade. I mean, won the division for like 10 years straight now, and
Mhm.
they haven't been 0-2 since Andy Reid's second season in Kansas City.
Yeah, and mind you, with Andy Reid, the last time that the Chiefs were 0-2 was in that second season. They were still able to get home with a winning record. Though they didn't make the playoffs, they still were able to get some sort of momentum going and able to at least come up above 500. So the Chiefs are more than able to. They're more than capable of turning their season around. They just got to do it this weekend.
Oh yeah, and I saw a stat the other day that Mahomes has not been 0-2, has had a
Oh yeah,
two-game losing streak since high school. That's
since high
insane.
school. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is insane.
That is crazy. Speaking of the Chargers, though, I'm curious because Austin Eckler didn't he get injured? Didn't he get season ender? Who's their running
Yeah.
back now that they're relying on?
So it's a Mario Hampton and the rookie and Najee Harris, former Steelers running back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I would say for the Chargers, they look pretty. They look really, really good. I mean, Quentin Johnson has really, really redeemed himself, especially within those few seasons where we were just blaming him for his butterfingers and how he wasn't able to secure the ball properly. But he's definitely learned quite a lot, and he's been doing really, really good. So I will say that the Chargers could have a really, really great run, good opportunity to take the division, and then the Broncos. I mean, if the if the Chiefs continue to like, you know, if they do go on Skyfall, then I do think that the Broncos, their defense has really been solid. And I do think that yeah, there could be chances where Bo Nix might throw more picks. I still think that their defense could be strong enough to be able to win those key matchups, and that could ultimately be what it comes down to. Um, I think that the Chiefs, or at least I think that the Broncos could still overtake the Chiefs, but we just gotta see if the defense remains consistent and that Bo Nix just doesn't continue to be very inconsistent, throw a lot of interceptions, and we're gonna have to just wait and see what happens.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, like the way the Chargers have been playing, and division's kind of up for grabs. I think the Broncos will still like finish third. Obviously, you have Raiders fourth, and 1-2 between Chargers and Chiefs. Depending how the Chiefs do in the coming weeks, and if the Chargers continue to play, we'll see where that lands. Can the division finally be in another team's hands? But we shall see. I love the way the Chargers are playing, and just Herbert looking like an early MVP candidate right now.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna go into our predictions. I'm gonna start off with the Pittsburgh Steelers and New England Patriots, and the Patriots at home. Who you got?
Ooh, I mean, very, very tough. I mean, a very gutsy win the Patriots had against the Dolphins, and it was very, very back and forth. They're going to be taking on the Steelers, who their defense just really wasn't clicking to was what they had last year. And yeah, it really is a really a game where a lot of people on paper are like, hey, the Steelers are going to go ahead and take the win. I do have the Steelers getting the win here. I think that Aaron Rodgers could still he'll do pull off some magic that he had. I mean, week one showed that he can still play and get in those really bloody battles in and out when it comes to very explosive games. But I just do think that this game should not be overlooked. I think the Patriots they probably are going to be the underdogs heading in, despite them playing in Foxborough. I just think that, hey, maybe the Patriots could pull off something, and I think this is a closer game than what people might anticipate. I still will go for the Steelers. I think their defense might just slightly be a little bit better. I think TJ Watt can still lift that defensive line up to where the defense needs to be. And I think that overall, I think the Steelers, with their experience, or especially with Aaron Rodgers, I think that they could still produce and get the win.
Oh yeah, I got the Steelers winning, especially that week one. He went crazy against his former team, the Jets, at MetLife Stadium. 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. He still got it, even though defense has looked a little down. I mean, coming into the season, we thought the defense was going to carry Aaron Rodgers, but it's been another way, and you kind of want the defense to be able to help Aaron Rodgers more, especially because he is 41 years old. This is most likely his last season. He wants to go out with the final hurrah, and he was solid against the Seahawks, but we shall see. Next up, we got the Jets and the Bucks. Bucks at home.
Oh, I mean, got to give it to the Bucks. I mean, Baker Mayfield, that last drive that he got the win on Monday night
Insane.
was just absolutely insane. Playing pretty much, a lot of people compared him to Tom Brady that game. So I will say, Baker's going to continue to bake. I think he has got great variety of options for offense. I mean, Bucky Irving and even Rashad White can really elevate that run game. And then obviously you have Egbuka, who was really, really popping off in his rookie season. So I do think that with all that said, Bucks should be able to take it. I think the defense can really take things down, especially with the Jets not having Justin Fields in play and having Tyrod Taylor instead. It might be a rough one for the Jets.
Oh yeah, especially because Justin Fields, he went out. Tyrod Taylor, like you said, is starting. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I mean, that game two comeback against the Texans was really good, and I think Baker's gonna continue to bake. So I think the Bucks are gonna move to 3-0. But next we got a division rivalry between the Falcons and the Panthers. Panthers are at home.
Ooh, hoo, hoo. See that this is very, very interesting. Obviously, the Falcons' defense was ruthless against the Vikings on Sunday night. And Parker Romo, I mean, you got to give it to him. I mean, getting all those the majority of the points was really, really good on their end. I think Bijan has been playing really good this season, so I do think that their run game could be pretty good. Though I am going to keep an eye on J.C. Horn for the Panthers. I think that he's a really good standout defensive player. I mean, they did sign him for a pretty lengthy extension. I think he's the highest paid corner or one of the highest paid defensive backs in his position in the league so far. So I do think we definitely should keep an eye on him. But yeah, I do think that the Falcons should be able to script this one. Again, division rivalries are very, very hard to call. I still think that the Falcons could still take it. Though we have seen time before Bryce Young being able to wake up, understand the mistakes that he made early on in the season, and be able to come back. I just don't know if it's going to start right away. So I am going to go with the Falcons to get the win here.
Yeah, give me the Falcons. I mean, this is Bryce Young's last chance. He doesn't have much time left. I mean, he's considered a bust right now, and he was taking over C.J. Stroud. Wrong year, yeah, he was taking over C.J. Stroud. Obviously, we know how that turned out, and the Panthers are just mediocre as a franchise. So, give me the Falcons, or like Bijan Robinson, but he's been balling. He's shown like he's one of the best backs in the league, and yeah, give me the Falcons. Next up, we got the Packers and Browns. Not too much time on this one. We know who's going to win.
I mean, very, very complete team. Micah Parsons has been a really great addition to that Packers defense. I mean, Jerry Jones, what do you got? What are you doing? So yeah, I mean
Exactly.
Packers mic drop. Move on.
Oh yeah, give me Packers, even though they're on the road, but it's easy 3-0. Next up, we got the division rivalry. We got the Texans and the Jaguars. The Jaguars are at home.
Ooh. Now, see, this is where things get a little tough. I mean, do I rely on C.J. Stroud to get the team going? Obviously, the offensive line really wasn't looking great, but then at the same time, I've been sleeping on the Jaguars quite a bit. I mean, obviously, like they had really good expectations for a season, but then they just collapsed. And this was, I believe, like 2 seasons ago. So can I really trust that the Jaguars, if they're going to be in it to win, that they're going to continue that momentum throughout the entire season? So that is still what's on my mind. I think that this is going to be very, very close. I am going to give the slight edge to the Texans, though. I don't know. My heart's just been saying that, the Texans will be able to pull it out. But again, very, very interesting to see how things unfold, especially with this new revitalized offense from the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially with ETN playing really, really solid this season. And then with the addition of Travis Hunter, going to be a big element both on offense and defense. So curious to see how they'll perform. But I do think, though, that I don't know. My gut feeling goes with the Texans, even though they haven't been playing hot as of late, and they did lose in that comeback against the Bucks Monday night. So
Yeah, give me the Texans. Texans 0-2 on the year. Obviously, close losses, even though they're dealing with some injuries on their own, especially the offensive side of the ball. But I feel like you said too. I'm gonna go with the Texans. I mean, I like Jacksonville so far this season, especially Travis Hunter. Big fan, offensively, defensively. Like you said, ETN's doing his thing. Brian Thomas Jr. like a little lackluster so far for the Jaguars this season, but I'm gonna go with the Texans winning this one. Next up, we talked about earlier, we got the Bengals versus Minnesota. The Vikings are at home.
again, very, very tough. But given the history that they had 2 years ago with Jake Browning getting his revenge on the Vikings, I think momentum is sort of shifting with the Bengals right now, especially given their 2-0 start. So I do think that if they continue to ride that wave of momentum, I think that they should be able to pull it off given the circumstances. Given the circumstances they have, their O line's not great and stuff like that. I still think that Jamar Chase could come up with some really unique plays that can try to get things going. But again, very, very hard to predict given both of their team's circumstance. My heart just goes with the Bengals, though.
Yeah, this is gonna be a close one. It could go either way. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I mean, like you said, I think the Jake Brown's gonna come through, and then Jamar Chase is gonna have like a sensational game. Next up, we got the game of Sunday. We got the Rams versus the Eagles. Divisional round rematch. Eagles are at home. Who do you got?
Yeah, very, very interesting. I mean, you painted the picture pretty well with that Rams outlook right now. The defensive front looking really, really good. Um, though, did Jimmy G start last week? Jimmy Garoppolo?
For us,
Early.
no, it was Matt Stafford.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know why Jimmy G is brought up, but anyways, I still think that the Rams can make it very, very competitive. I don't know whether or not home field advantage is going to be a big thing for the Eagles, because the last time the Eagles played at Lincoln Financial Field before the divisional round, oh, just absolutely steamrolled. Saquon Barkley had a historic night. I mean, Earl, I love you, but I'm going to go with the Eagles here. Despite their underperforming offense, I think that the defense has been really locked for this team. And I mean, Saquon Barkley, when he's given the ball, he can do miraculous things when given the right circumstances. I'm going to go with the Eagles. But hey, the Rams can prove me wrong.
And we will do that. Saquon Barkley, he destroyed us like both games, especially in the playoffs. That key run, like I think he had 200 in the regular season, like over 180 in the playoffs against us. He killed us, but the offense looks a little different. Our defensive line's a little bit better and improved. I'm gonna go with the Rams soon because our offense will prevail, and this is our moment. This is our time. There's been a lot of talk about the Packers, the Eagles, and the NFC, Commanders too, and the NFC. But it's our time. The Rams will prevail. We'll go 3-0, and we will gain our spot, and we will go to Super Bowl. I'm talking like crazy, but I have faith right here, and we will win on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Amen.
Next up, we got the Colts and the Titans. And by the way, I
Ooh,
did not expect this from the Colts so far. It's maybe Danny Dimes from New York, but in Indiana they call him Indiana Jones right now.
Indiana
That boy
Jones.
cooking.
I was actually shocked to see how Daniel Jones was able to perform with his new team. Now, the fact that they're 2-0 right now, I mean, they could potentially be a wild card contender heading in, especially with the way they're playing. I think they're the only team right now in the league who hasn't punted this entire season as of
Yep,
yet. So
that's a record.
it goes to show how dynamic the offense has really been, how they were able to keep the ball rolling. Though their red zone touchdown conversions haven't necessarily been the best, they still were able to get points on the board, and they don't need to rely on their kicker, their punter as much. So again, division rivalry is really close. I do like how Cam Ward is trying to test the waters out, and under pressure, under the pressure, he has been able to make some pretty interesting plays, especially his first touchdown that he threw. That was pretty insane. So yeah, I do think though the Colts are just on a whole nother level of momentum right now. I'm gonna go with the Colts to get the win here.
Yeah, they're going insane right now, and I don't know. Maybe he could keep this up. Indiana Jones could keep it up. I think the Titans gotta get a win some there. I mean, the Titans aren't that good, but I really like their quarterback Cam Ward. Like you said, he had that crazy throw against the Rams. But I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think Mexico's gonna continue to keep going, and like you said, they're breaking some records. Especially they haven't been 2-0. They haven't won their their first home opener or week one in I think over 10 years.
Jesus,
I know.
crazy.
Next up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders and the Commanders. Commanders at home, and head coach Dan Quinn for the Commanders announced that Marcus Mariota will start.
Mariota, the things that he was able to do with the Titans back then. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Heisman.
yeah, that game again, the Raiders had Monday night was very rough. I think Geno had zero incompletions, had 3 picks, which was just very, very lackluster. But I mean, Ashton Jeanty has been playing pretty good for the run game. I think that he's definitely been a very reliable option for the run game for the Raiders, and I do think that that could make things very, very competitive. Though I will say, though, I do think that the Commanders they have a little bit more experience under their belt. So I'm leaning towards the Commanders for this one.
For games like this, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think Geno Smith's gonna have a bounce back game because I mean, as a Seahawks fan, he has these good games like he did in Week 1, and then he had a stinker in Week 2 against the Chargers, and now Week 3. I think he's gonna do. I think he's gonna do all right. I think he's gonna be good enough to get the win. I mean, Brock Bowers. I mean, Ashton Jennings. He's been all right so far, but I'm gonna go with the Raiders on this one. Next up, we got division rivalry. AFC West, we got the Broncos at the Chargers. Defensive battle right there.
Very defensive powered, but I do think it's going to go down to who has a more dynamic offense. I do think that the Chargers do have a little bit more of a dynamic offense under their belt, so I'm going to go with the Chargers to get the win here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chargers. Like you said, their offense is a bit more dynamic and flexible. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers as well. It's gonna be a close one, but give me the Chargers. Next up, we got the Saints against your Seahawks. Seahawks at home.
Do I have to say anything about the Seahawks at this point? I mean, obviously, like Spencer Rattler has been going through a lot of pressure right now, but I just do think that going against a team that their defense has been really, really strong, their defensive line has probably been the best it's been for quite some time, for quite a while. It's really great to see the Seahawks defense really being able to step up, and yeah, so I am 100% going to the Seahawks. I mean, either way, I got to root for my team whether they're favored or not, and I do think that they are pretty much favored. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks to get the win here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Give me the Seahawks. It's not even close. I'm sorry, the Saints are awful. I'm sorry. I don't even know a Saints fan. I'm so serious. That's just bad. I give me the Seahawks easily. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Chicago Bears.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna change scenes because my laptop's gonna charge. But Cowboys Bears, very very interesting. I do like the way that the Cowboys have been adopting, obviously, with the Micah trade. We weren't sure how their defense was going to do, though it was a very big shootout against the Giants on Sunday. How about Brandon Aubrey? He's definitely cemented himself as one of the best kickers in the league so far. So I do think, and of all time. So I do think that with all that being said, I think that Dak Prescott has really, really adapted to how his offense has been creating, and then the defense. Without Micah Parsons, their defense hasn't really been as substantial, but still decent enough. I mean, they did end up sealing that pick and taking advantage of Russell Wilson's mistakes that he made in that shootout. And so I do think that the Cowboys, they seem to be favored a lot. As for the Bears, I mean, they have a very, very slow start. 0-2, they really just haven't been able to. Oh, in there. Sorry, my roommate just walking in. Anyways, the Bears, they have a lot of momentum going in, and one of the highlights, Rome Odunze. He played really, really well despite them just getting absolutely blown out. So there are those high spots, but the fact that they're 0-2, fears of going 0-3, you're not sure how seriously you can take the Bears, and there's definitely have been a lot of questions with how bad the coaching has definitely been for the Bears for quite some time. I do think that the Cowboys should be able to sneak in a win here, but I mean, if Rome Odunze plays the way he did back on Sunday, despite the circumstances, I think that we could see a fair fight between the two.
Oh yeah, I mean, Ben Johnson's been a little lackluster. They did get 51 points dropped on them last Sunday against their division rival Lions, and they did like the fake tumble play that Ben Johnson used to use for like against the Lions. So that's pretty funny. But give me the Bears. I mean, Caleb Williams. I thought the O-line would be so much better. They spent so much money improving the O-line, and it hasn't been that good. Now, you got to give him a few more time because obviously he was the number one pick over Jaden Daniels, and we know what he did. So, extreme amounts of pressure on Caleb Williams. We'll see what he does, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one. And then next up, we got division rivalry. The Cardinals visiting the 49ers. Who do you got? I believe Mac Jones is starting too again.
Oh. So, yeah.
And George Kittle's on IR. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Yeah, Kittle's on IR. So, yeah, just not a great ideal situation for the 49ers to be in. Like we mentioned before, Cardinals could be a dark horse heading into this NFC West division. So I do think that the momentum could shift a little bit more towards the Cardinals here. I do like the way Kyler Murray has lifted up this offense. I like the way that Marvin Harrison Jr., you can't forget about him, and then McBride as well for the Cardinals. Their offense has been pretty dynamic throughout. James Conner is the running back for the Cardinals. Yeah, he can definitely perform pretty well when given the ball. So I do think that their offense should be able to have that little bit of strength advantage and take advantage of those of the injured 49ers right now. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals to pull off a little sneaky win here against the 49ers.
I want to agree with you, but for some reason, I just have a gut feeling. I don't know. Both these teams don't look like they could be 3-0, but it's just tough. I'm going to go with the 49ers just because of a defensive battle. I think it'll be like a close game, but I'm going to go with the 49ers. I think Mac Jones might have one more in him. And, yeah, I'm going to go with 49ers. I could see it going either way, though.
Yeah. Very back and forth either way. And yeah, that defense, like for the 49ers, Bosa's still been playing pretty strong. So yeah, I think that overall the defense could be the difference that the 49ers could have to get that win. So I'm still going to go with the Cardinals though. I'm actually rooting for the birds of the division.
I don't know who to root for. I'm gonna just say whatever happens on that one.
Whatever happens.
But we got Sunday Night Football. We talked about earlier. Chiefs versus Giants. Giants at MetLife Stadium. I'll be working.
Yeah, I mean, must win for the Chiefs. I mean, they are favorable to win this. again, they just got to keep their emotions in check. They got to make sure that they're not making those little mistakes that they have, and they just really just need to take advantage of the situation they're in. Yeah, it's not great. The receiver room is not optimal. I mean, again, just hopes that Xavier Worthy is hopeful to play for this game on Sunday, but again, just do or die for the Chiefs. And though I really don't want to see them like pull off magic like they've had last season in the regular season with those very weird ways that they managed to find wins. I do think that the Chiefs on paper they look fundamentally a little bit more stronger, but again, the Giants defense, like you mentioned before, could pose a little bit of trouble, especially on that run game if the Chiefs continue to utilize it. But again, I think that Patrick Mahomes should still be able to find a way, and I do think that the Chiefs should win. And in fact, they must win if they want to keep their season on a little bit more of a higher note, because it's right now going on a downhill spiral.
Oh yeah, give me the Chiefs. This is a must-win, and I don't see a world where they lose. The sky, if they lose, the sky has fallen. The kingdom is over, is in ruins. Give me the Chiefs in a must-win scenario. Even though the Giants coming off a very good performance, Russell Wilson looked vintage, like his Seahawk days, but the Giants they expect major changes coming soon, like Jackson Dart coming soon. But give me the Chiefs in this one. But their defense has been the consistent part. Next up, last one, we got Monday Night Football. Lions versus Ravens. Ravens are at home.
The Super Bowl that we wanted 2 years ago, mind you.
Exactly.
The Super Bowl that we wanted 2 years ago, back when the Lions had quite the season. I mean, they had a really great season last season as well, but then they lost to the Commanders in that divisional round. But now this Lions team is looking very different without their two big coordinators alongside Dan Campbell. Obviously, Aaron Glenn to the Jets, and then Ben Johnson to the Bears. So that's going out of their way. But I do think that though they did have a really tough beating against the Packers, they were still able to take advantage and continue to showcase Jared Goff. You know, he played really well. I think he had 5 touchdowns in that whole ordeal on Sunday. So the offense is still there, and I do think that the defense, I feel like, has definitely gone a little bit weaker. Again, I feel like because Aiden Hutchinson is still kind of trying to readjust given that injury that he had last season. But all I know is that the grit for the Lions is still there despite the drastic changes that they had throughout last season. Then as for the Ravens, we pretty much talked about it. Like, their offense, very, very dynamic. They have a lot of options. If one option doesn't go well, they can still rely on, or at least if their run doesn't go well, they can rely on the receivers that can make some impactful plays. But again, it's just that defense that really has me questioning, can they stay consistent from opening kickoff to the final whistle, to the final kneel down? That's kind of like the factor that goes in. I think that this could be a high scoring game, just shots back and forth. I just think that both of these offenses can be very, very explosive, very dynamic. But in terms of who I want to lean more towards, remind me where this is being played, Baltimore?
Yeah.
Oh. I feel like it'll go down to a coin flip. I'm going to go with the Ravens to get the win. I have confidence that defense should have learned, and understood that they have to just continue to fight regardless of how much time is left on the clock, whether it's 13 seconds, 5 minutes. They got to just make sure that they keep their mentality in check. But I do think that, again, very high-scoring game. I honestly wouldn't be disappointed if the Lions were able to pull off a win. I feel like it would be a little bit more impressive given the two coordinators that were there last year are not there. But honestly, I think the Ravens could be set up for a win here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ravens. Like you said, I think it's going to be a shootout. And the defensive side of the ball, I think they gave up 17 against the Browns. Very good. And you blew a 40-25 lead. You gave up 41 points. You ain't going to win the Super Bowl like that. And I had this team going into the season winning the whole thing. Defensively, your name's stacked. Offensively stacked. The run, you got King Henry still doing his thing, and he's looking very good. Lamar Jackson could have won MVP last year. Honestly, should have. I had him. He actually should have beat Josh Allen, but it doesn't matter to me anymore. But they got many ways offensively to win the game, but defensively, can you close? Can you like close the deal? Because in the playoffs, you you got to get it done. You have to beat Josh Allen. You have the biggest obstacle in the way, the team of the decade. You got Patrick Mahomes. Can you beat those two? And you can be cemented. You're really one of the greatest QBs of all time. But can you cement yourself in like the higher echelon? That's what matters for the Ravens right now. Regular seasons don't matter. It's playoffs. So with that getting said, give me the Baltimore Ravens win that one. And I believe we covered anything. Any final thoughts about NFL so far?
Yeah, very, very happy that football is finally back. Definitely a lot
Facts.
of great headlines heading in. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited to see how the season unfolds. And heck, if we run it back, that was like at the end of the season, review the playoffs. Well, we can pretty much kind of establish and see where things are. So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
very,
I'm down.
very excited to see how the season unfolds. So, yeah, all from me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad the NFL season is back, and I can't wait for Sunday football. Rams Eagles. This is our time. It's our moment. And I appreciate you for joining. Appreciate you for joining again. Yeah.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be back here.
Yes, sir. The first ever guest. Thank you, Anthony Gazowski, for joining. That is all for Crunchtime Chaos. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, subscribe to TikTok, Insta, YouTube, all that, and we'll catch y'all next time.